Good morning, everybody. So happy to be with you. Missed you last week, but we did have fun playing. It was really an enjoyable concert for us. So let's meditate. And we'll use the Om sound internally. And so I want to remind you that the Om sound itself has three parts to it. And you can use it to either focus on opening one energy center or to move through the central channel, whichever way feels right to you in a given moment. And it may move back and forth, and that's totally fine. But the whole idea is to remain engaged and focused on that which is our source. So I'm going to count through it as we have the last few weeks with 9 breaths of the Om sound internally without sound, except the internal sound in each energy center. So I'll tell you where I am, and if you want to be with that, that's fine. And otherwise, just ignore it. But we really want to be inside, opening the energy centers during the meditation. So, and just for a refresher, it's Om, are the 3 syllables that we experience. And very often, if we're doing them, focusing on the upward motion, the Om is in the pelvis, the Ah is in the heart, and the is in the opening at the top of the head. So however you choose to do it, we should end up that way. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start at the base of the spine, however you're going to do it. And I'll cue in when to move to each energy center. Moving to the energy center below your belly button. Moving to the solar plexus. Moving to the heart center. moving to the throat center. And now out the top of the head. Gently as you're ready, holding to this great quiet openness. Gently open your eyes as slowly as feels good as you let the light in. Mm. Welcome. How's the volume today? Can you hear okay? Good. So what's up? How's everybody doing? Mm. We're so happy to see you all. Mm. So in the last 2 weeks, the politics has changed pretty enormously. Reasons for hope on the horizon. Mm. Yes.
I just wanted to say it's so nice to hear uh, the candidate, Kamala and Tim, talking about joy and acknowledging each other's joy. Um, it it puts the emphasis in the right place for me.
Yes. I think that's absolutely true. And the other thing is that they are both into politics as an act of service. Mhm. And they don't exactly talk about it that way, but you can see by looking at their resumes that that's how they feel about it. It's not uh, something that they're imposing from the outside. It is their genuine, uh, it just comes up like this: we are here to serve to make your life better because we understand how the system works and we're going to use it for you. And they mean it. And so the place to put our prayers now is that the system will be strong enough to sustain itself in the face of the attacks from the inside to destabilize the voting process so that there is no choice. Because that's the only way the other side can win now, is by the electoral college and the Supreme Court in cahoots. So it's very important that any donations that we make be focused toward the voting system itself, supporting the people who are going to be guarding the polls, who are going to make sure that people are not deregistered, who are really, really paying attention, because this is the place where we're vulnerable at this point. This, we can't lose from a quality perspective, but we can from the forces that are really trying throughout the world to destabilize our voting process. And those forces are quite powerful, and they have unlimited economic resource that they're willing to spend to taint the election. That's all we're going to say about that, because it's the truth of the matter. But we are delighted. This is such, this quality of participation and upliftment and joy being a potential on the horizon is exactly what's needed in the moment to shift humanity in the direction it needs to go to make this huge change. And it's such an important choice point for humanity that it's a time to mobilize forces in the 3D world as much as we can. And interesting, the way we do that is in our inner life. We go to the Anasa temple every day and we put our attention on making the process fair. It only needs to be fair. So that's what we have to say about that. We're completely joyful about it, but there's cautious optimism because the dark forces are very powerful, and they see this as their opportunity to sneak in and destroy the system. Yes,
In many ways, this whole process, I take it as a metaphor
exactly.
for my internal conflicts or challenges as well. I mean, in the larger scheme of things, I have very little influence externally. I vote, we contribute, blah blah blah, but the um, the work, as you say, is internal, and it was very interesting to hear that the word Satan translate translated means adversary, and that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yes. And, you know, if you look at the chart of election day, that Pluto Mars opposition, um, there's violence built into the system in that day. And so we have to focus so much on the good. It's like a teeter-totter. You know, if we focus so much on the good, then there will be a wall that is impenetrable to the potential for violence. And we have no idea the power of one person's energy in creating peace throughout a whole system. We have no idea. You know, last week I had the opportunity to spend the weekend with a family member. And for the first time in my history of knowing her, she was pretty much at peace. And I was speaking to a very close friend who's a shaman yesterday, and she said, well, that's because of your work. And I was like, nah, that's her work. She's like, no, you've been doing this for decades. Everybody around you has benefited, and she's just showing it in her life. And so I'm still like not quite on board with that idea. But for any of you, I would say that immediately. so so I'm just putting it out there. That we don't know the power of our own work, and we don't need to know, because the point in our own lives is to keep doing it, because there is always more. There is no such thing as a limit to the love that's available for us to experience, and the experience of that love is ever more ecstatic. And that's for sure. That's for sure. There are a few things we can be sure of in this life. That's one of them, that our work really makes a difference in our own lives. And, you know, any positive collateral to that is also a great gift. But what it does for each of us is unbelievable. You know, it changes everything. It doesn't matter how much drama, trauma, how deep it is, how confusing it is. we have the capacity to work through it and dissolve it. And at a certain time, it's like it never happened. It's erased from the karmic field. And I would venture a guess that it's erased from the karmic field for all participants. So we have no idea the power of our own work. And as we progress in it, the challenges that it presents to us to stay in alignment are ever more intense. But who would have it any other way? Because that's what we're here for. So, what I'm really noticing about astrology, interestingly, at this particular moment, is that every day offers something different to each person. It's like you get dealt a different hand every day, and depending on what your rainbow of energetic patterns that are turned on by the day, that's what you experience as your day. And everything is constantly changing, but each influence is changing on a different timeline. And so, although we share the same inputs, if we're in the same location, we respond to them differently because what's turned on for each of us is slightly different with each pattern as it changes like a kaleidoscope in the day. And the more awareness we have of that, the more capacity we have to give everybody a break, because all of these energies are very intense. And when you are at their mercy, you are, unless you've had the fantastic opportunity to know what you're at the mercy of. And then you may have some capacity to put an antidote mantra into play in that moment or for that period of time that can stabilize your own system. Yes.
I've been deeply into putting that mantra. It's not an actual mantra, but it is a, oh, what? Prayer. Yeah, it's a prayer. Um, Whenever, excuse me, I find my thoughts turning critical or negative in any way. It comes up so often, and I'm almost amused by it, except that it's not really funny. Um, but how unnecessary it is, and how much space it takes up, and that it's in the channel, it's blocking the channel for the love. I can see it almost as if it was physically present. Um, but they're insistent. It's all the time I'm having to go, oh, there you are again. Um, that's unnecessary. You don't need that. That is nothing you know for sure about anything or anybody. So, let it go. Let it go. And I'm doing that all the time. I mean, it's really like almost ridiculous. And but I know that that's what's up for me now.
Yes. And there are various ways of responding to that. For a long time, every time that comes up, we go, and that doesn't work. That just pushes it deeper. And so it gets more and more intense. And then it really comes up, when we're not looking and we explode. So we've all been through that. And so the real thing is to welcome it. To say, oh, hello, thank you for showing yourself, for giving me the opportunity to allow you to ride this wave, allow me to allow you to ride this wave of acceptance of whatever it is you're trying to show me. That is my vulnerability. And you say, bring it on, show me. Show me what you have to tell me. Talk to me. Engage me. Let me know how I can give you what you need to be solved. Thank you for coming.
That that really clears up something for me because I've had a problem with welcoming it. I didn't think that was I didn't feel it was welcome at all.
Yeah,
And
we want to
so
kill
I
it.
yeah, well, at least make it disappear,
Yeah,
dissolve it. Um
get out of here. We take out the
get out of
knives.
here. Stop doing this. Stop filling up my space.
Yeah.
And and the usefulness of it had eluded me. Welcoming it means being able to use it, doesn't it?
Well, it means that we are engaging the stuck energy in ourselves and beginning to dissolve it so that instead of making us increasingly dense, we are becoming lighter and lighter. And so, of course, we understand through experience everything you're talking about. And our experience is that doesn't really work. It just intensifies it until our whole life is like, taking out the knives and hurting ourselves because this energy is us. This is not something separate from us come to torment us. This is our own disharmony presenting itself. And when we understand that, this another word for it is shadow. When we understand that this is exactly what we are asking for so that we can engage and resolve these heavy, dense energies within ourselves, then we can thank our inner, thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing this to me to be resolved. What is it? What is it in me? Talk to me. Let me know, guide me to the understanding that will allow this to no longer be my Achilles heel.
And that goes right along with the adversary. Uh,
The
because
adversary is us.
Yeah, well, it is that the shadow, the thoughts that I consider dark or at least negative, um, confronting them in myself is my work. On the larger scale, I don't have a whole lot of influence, but on this, that's what I was saying about it being a metaphor.
Don't say that. You have no idea how much influence you have. So, assuming that you have none is a way of dumbing down your power. Just don't make any assumptions at all. Just do the work. Because whenever we reduce ourselves with our own mind, we're reducing our own power by making assumptions that we have no basis to make.
One of the things that I meant was that I don't have any direct power. I understand that we all are contributing to the whole, and that the negative energy is also contributing to the whole, my negative energy. And so my work in cleaning up my own, I call it the love channel, is really influential. I mean, the Chinese thing of saying that a butterfly wings influence everything, all the molecules, and I have seen that as true. So I'm not diminishing an individual's power, but I just mean I can't do anything directly about Trump, for example. I mean, he is representing something that I feel I can see in myself, and mm, now you've suggested welcome it, um, because it was not welcome before at all. Um, I was doing the stop thing, and I don't know, that wasn't getting me anywhere, just like you said. And so this is like a new perspective on that whole um, subject.
This is also a new way to use the Anasa temple. So, in these moments of inner confusion, we'll just call it inner confusion that feels like conflict. When our negativity rises, this is when we feel the least worthy of going to an Anasa temple. But going to an Anasa temple is not about worthiness, it's about healing and understanding. And so, we literally crawl to the Anasa temple in these moments and lay on the floor and ask for guidance. We're just telling you our experience. It's it's not pretty, but it's really important. It's really important. It's the foundation of true humility. And humility and compassion go hand in hand. In confronting the shadow, we become humble because we understand intimately that we are the shadow in the same way that we are the light. And ultimately, we begin to understand that there is no such thing as inner and outer. It's all one thing. Our senses, which lead us to believe that there's a separation between us and everything else, only lead us to those assumptions by their lack of capacity to experience the whole. But as we open ourselves energetically deeper and deeper, we understand that those limitations are sensory limitations, not energetic limitations. And that really we are participating in the whole of all of it in every moment. It's just that if we allowed that awareness, our limited minds would go insane. And so we don't need to entertain all of the possibility in any given moment ever. And the key and the real meaning of surrender is to allow our minds to be at ease while we open ourselves, our true selves, including our mind, to the stillness. Because it gives our mind a rest in the whole. We just stop our mind, just allow it to be clear space. And then something else is there to be experienced. Mm. And then we lose any desire. Because we understand that in that space, all desires are fulfilled. Yes. Mhm. You look like you're ready to speak. Mm.
This is such a delicious conversation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's so wonderful to be here and for it to just the truth to allow the truth to just really move through. Yeah, I mean, this is quite a heck of an adventure we're on. I doesn't seem like an adventure sometimes, but this is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge realization and feeling. This is big stuff.
Mm.
I'm so grateful
for that.
I'm so grateful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're so
for all
welcome.
the questions and everything. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Mm. Hmm. You know, the other thing we want to share with you is that the multiverse is full of compassion. You know, often we are driven in this life by our fears, and very much the experiences of this time and place and culture kind of rivets us to the negativity often if we allow it. But we do have the opportunity to focus higher, to set ourselves in ease, peace, and joy as we start our day, and to continually try to bring ourselves back to that when we dip. But the multiverse itself is source energy, is love. And when we dissolve into that, that will be our primary experience. And what we have been shown is that whatever time it takes, that the negativity will be dissolved, and time and space are not the same in the multiverse as what we experience here. But our understanding will become cleared. And so we have nothing to fear in the death process. And really, we have nothing to fear in the life process, because they are one and the same. Alpha and Omega are the same. And the more we bring ourselves into the field of that awareness, the less we wobble. But of course, all of us wobble every single day and will continue to. And there's nothing wrong in that. That's called being human. Mm-hmm.
So we can take ease and accept this process as a way of life, as you know, the ups and the downs, and because it brings us to, we have something, a core value here we are working towards. I don't want to call it working, but awakening to.
Yeah. It
It's a
is what
natural process. And to look at it in a more gentle way um, seems like it'd be very helpful.
well to allow ourselves to be gentle with ourselves as we experience whatever we experience.
Yeah.
And it's very, very hard because everyone on this call has very strong values that when we see we've missed the mark, we really punish ourselves beyond, beyond what we would ever do or even think of doing to another person.
Yeah.
And so this is really what we want to address. Nobody here is harming others in the outer world intentionally.
Right.
But what we do to ourselves
Mm-hmm.
is really so extreme and so painful
Mm-hmm.
that to cultivate toward ourselves an attitude of compassion and forgiveness is really, really, really important.
Yeah.
Because this self-harm is so destructive. It constantly brings us back to a, a well, the most destructive feeling in the multiverse is shame.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do that to ourselves, and usually it's because of some imagined slight that we've done to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we, really, really did do something, but our imagination blows it up.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are sensitive enough that we continuously take responsibility for other people's feelings that they may not even know they have,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe they have, and it doesn't have anything to do with us. We just happen to be in the same room. But we continuously allow ourselves to be punished by what we experience from others that we think we created.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, it's okay because it brings up that darkness, that shadow side that we then take responsibility for and can go to the Anasa temple and do self-inquiry, about what the deepest part of us is and what it is we're feeling and how to really, there's not a how to, but as we inquire deeper and deeper, everything changes. And coming to peace, genuine peace and simplicity. Can be a relative goal.
Mhm. So that just reminds me, there's nothing to prove. There's nothing, everything's taken care of, really. I mean, as far as I have to look at things. And perhaps a gentle nod or a help, but this is, I don't know, something strong in me in childhood is taken hold, and the conditioning, and just, yeah, I mean, what you bring up is really, really important to understand. Those are the core pieces that get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very, I feel that. Yeah. Well, and if you don't hit the wall, you aren't going to learn much. I mean,
Exactly.
this is all happening for a reason. We could just get out of the way and allow life to carry on with us, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for saying it.
It just resonated so much this morning with you saying and everyone saying, and what I shared a few weeks ago, facing some more adversarial reactions, but noting that peace that I've had almost without, it's not like I'm trying to have it. I just feel like I have this reserve of being able to not react to things because I know it's taking its course, but I'm just so grateful that I have that center of peace that I can just rest in and be available without trying to fix or control. And that has been so significant for me on a personal level. And I feel that and I see the impact it's having without trying with my interference.
Yes. I mean, this is one of the greatest lessons. I know you can't hear. What she's saying is that in the last few weeks, she's experienced directly the insanity of other family members in a pretty intense way as they have been going through their growth processes, and that she has managed to maintain a certain kind of inner stability as these sort of earth moving changes are happening in the people around her, the young people, as they grapple with their responsibilities, the unforeseen consequences of their responsibilities, and their inability to rise to the occasion. And her being able to stay calm in that, even though when this happens with young people, they tend to blame everybody around them and, sort of spew garbage because they don't know any better or have any other, they haven't evolved far enough to behave differently. That hasn't taken her down. She's been calm in the face of that, and as a result, been able to support, but not take on the responsibilities that need to be met. And so we see this as a beautiful, beautiful demonstration of how we can be helpful, but not take on that which needs to be met by the people around us. And so congratulations. We're really totally moved by that capacity.
I'm so thankful to have this place of understanding to obtain that awareness for myself. It's good.
And understand that you're demonstrating that it's having impacts beyond anything you can imagine that will become visible over time. Because people can't become that in a minute, but they can witness it and grow from it or not. They always have a choice, and allowing them to have that choice is our way of being respectful. And so, we don't say you're making a mistake because we know that won't make any difference. They're going to do what they're going to do. We say good luck with that. And we remain available, but we do not take responsibility for their responsibilities because that is called enabling. And nobody learns when that happens, except we get tired.
I think just continuing that spirit of, I feel just gratitude that I've learned to not get embroiled in that. That's
Yes.
what I feel so much, and that's what I hope that they can also feel eventually, but I'm not.
You pray for that. Yeah. Yeah. We are so lucky. We are so lucky to feel peace for a minute, and then to have that minute get longer. Yes.
I really enjoy going in my backyard. I can sure feel peace there with all the flowers and birds and
Yes.
pretty much quietness. And I practice practicing to take that outside at times helps an awful lot. Yeah. So luckily, I'm so grateful for all the peace I can feel. I know that's a gift. And thank you so much for these classes, and really appreciate you all.
Absolutely second that. Yeah. We're so lucky. We have this little dog that when he's at peace, he just rolls on his back and both paws are like this and he falls asleep with his belly completely open, his legs splayed open. He's just, that's relaxation for him. And it's so, that's what surrender is, I'm just part of it all at peace. So we're learning from the dog. Anything? So let's meditate some more. And this time at your own pace, in your own way. However, we love God. Such a great gift to be with you. So happy. Thank you so much for coming. Mm. Till we meet again.